friends, back again. Now we are going to talk about our lesson or our thing that we're learning about this week. This week we are learning about our brand new season that we have now. So we used to be in the season of winter. It's not winter anymore. We have a new season. That season begins with the letter S and it sounds like this, spruh, spruh. The name of our new season is spring. Can you say spring? And Mrs. Kavanaugh asked you to go outside, look around and see if you could see some signs of spring. Some of our friends sent me pictures of things that they saw in spring. Jack V sent me a picture of something he saw in spring, some yellow bushes. Dominic did, Adeline did, and Sylvie did. They all sent me pictures of things that they saw that made them think about spring. So thank you. So today we are going to continue talking about spring, but the first thing I'm going to do is read you our story of the day. So our story of the day shows a character that we've been learning about, and we've read 2 stories with him in it. Does anybody remember what this bunny's name is? Do you know? Do you remember? We've read about him 2 times now. First, this little guy hunted for spring, and then yesterday, he got stuck in a tree. Do you remember his name? His name begins with the letter H, and the beginning sound of his name sounds like this. Ha, ha. Do you know? If you said Hooper, you are right. So this story's title is Hang On, Hooper. So I'm going to read to you a story about Hooper having to hang on. I wonder what he has to hang on to. So while I'm reading this story, think about what Hooper has to hang on to and tell me what it is when we're done with the story. So that's your job while you're listening to this story, is to find out what it is that Hooper has to hang on to. Here we go. Spring had finally come to the high plains. Feeling restless, Hooper said to his mother, "Now that the snow has melted, may I go down into the valley and play with my friend Scamp?" "Of course you may," she said, "but remember how far it is and make sure you get home before dark." "I will, Mama," said the little Arctic hare, and off he ran. The forest where Scamp lived was a wonderful place for games of hide and seek, and 2 young hares played happily all afternoon. Suddenly, Hooper realized how late it was. "Oh no," he said, "I promised I'd be home before dark." "Don't worry," said Scamp, "I know a shortcut across the river." "But I can't swim," said Hooper. "Anyone can swim," said his friend. "It's easy." Do you think bunnies can swim? I don't know. Let's see. Hooper nervously dipped a paw in the river. "Are you sure I can do this? The water's very cold." "You're just scared," said Scamp. "I'm not. Watch me." And he boldly jumped in. Hooper lowered himself into the river and pushed off from the bank. At once, he disappeared under the water, and then he bobbed back up again, coughing and sputtering. "Help," he gasped, swallowing another mouthful of water. Hooper felt the current pulling him. He was sure he was going to drown. Uh-oh. "Grab that piece of wood," called Scamp. Hooper managed to splash over to the wooden plank that was floating in the river. He clung tightly to the plank and saw Scamp running along the riverbank. But the current grew so strong that Scamp couldn't keep up. As he watched his friend disappear around the bend, he shouted, "Hang on, Hooper!" Uh-oh. Slowly, the current grew weaker and the river opened up into a small pond. Hooper was washed up against an island of twigs and branches. He clambered out of the water and shook himself dry. "Hey, watch where you're stepping. That's my house," said a deep voice behind him. Hooper turned around and found himself face to face with a beaver. "How did you get here?" asked the beaver, and Hooper told him everything that had happened. "The shortcut was a big mistake," said the beaver. "This water is dangerous. Stay away from it if you can't swim." "I will," said Hooper, looking rather ashamed and sad. "And I'm sorry I stepped on your house. I didn't know it was a house. There's no door." "Oh, yes, there is," said the beaver, and he slid into the water and twisted and turned and disappeared under a pile of sticks. "That was good," said Hooper when the beaver came back. When winter comes, I'm going to build myself a house like this with a secret door under the snow." Then he looked anxious. "I should be at home now. My mother will be worried. How can I get back across the water?" "I'll help you," said the beaver. "Just climb on my back." Hooper held on tight, and the beaver swam across the pond. The beaver set him gently down on the riverbank. "Off you go, little hare," he said kindly. "Come back another day, and I'll give you swimming lessons." "Hooper," called his mother, calling from the edge of the forest. Scamp had run to get her, and they had been searching for Hooper along the river. Hooper was so happy to see her that he forgot how scared he had been. "I was swimming, Mama," he said proudly. "You should have seen me." Scamp had been even more frightened than Hooper. "I'm very sorry," he said to Hooper's mother. "It was my fault for making Hooper take a shortcut. But please, will you let him stay with me tonight so we can play again tomorrow?" "Only if you promise that there will be no more shortcuts," said Hooper's mother with a smile. It was already dark when the two little hares reached Scamp's home. His mother was waiting anxiously for him, knowing what trouble Scamp could get into. When they told her about their day, she smiled and shook her head. "Tomorrow you must both stay close by me. No more swimming for either of you." Then, with Scamp's mother watching over them, the two best friends snuggled down and they went to sleep. The end. All right. I had a question for you, and I asked you at the beginning of this story, what did Hooper hold on to? What did he have to hang on to or hold on to? Do you remember from our story what Hooper had to hold on to or hang on to? Do you remember? If you said a piece of wood, you were right. Hooper did have to hold on to a piece of wood, didn't he? Because he did not know how to swim, and that was not safe and not a good idea. Did you like my Hooper stories? I read 3 of them to you. I think Hooper's adorable. I really love him. Mrs. Kavanaugh's going to look for another Hooper story to read for you tomorrow. We'll see if I can find one at my house. So I'm going to be sending an email to your moms and dads about something fun that you can do, okay? So what I'm going to ask your moms and dads to do is cut out with a piece of paper this shape. What do you think this could be? This is the shape of a kite. And in the springtime, it gets windy and people love to fly kites. So normally, if we were in our classroom, we would be decorating kites with Mrs. Lopez. So today, I thought you could decorate your own kite, and then you could send me a picture of your kite, and I'll be happy to email you back and tell you what a lovely job we did. But I have a challenge for you. Are you ready for a challenge? All right, here's the challenge I want to show you. I drew a kite shape on my dry erase board. You remember we used these with the markers, with the dry erase markers? And what I did was I put a line down the middle. And I want my kite to be something, are you ready for this word? It's a kindergarten word. So make sure your listening ears are open, called symmetry. Symmetry means when something is the same on one side, then it is on the other. So it looks the same on each side. So if I wanted to make my kite have symmetry or be the same, I have to draw things that are the same on each side. So what I mean by that is maybe I'm going to take my orange marker and I'm going to draw a circle here. So if I drew one circle here, I'm going to make sure on the other side, in the same almost exact spot, I drew a circle here. Interesting. Now, if I want to keep making my kite look the same on one side as the other, I think I might take my, what color is this? Red, good. Take my red marker and I'm going to make a squiggle line here. So if I make a red squiggle line here, I'm going to make the same exact red squiggle line here. They look the same, right? What's here is here, and it's on the same on each side because it has symmetry. Also, I think then I might do, maybe I'll do a happy face right here with eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. So I have to make sure I do eyes, a nose, and a mouth over here. Beautiful. Because my kite looks the same from one side to the other. What else do you think I should put on here? I still need to use, maybe we'll use the blue one, and maybe we'll do a little wave right here. okay? And if I do a wave here, I do a wave here because they're the same. It's symmetry. One thing I cannot do is I can't put a square here, a circle here, and not put one here, because then it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't have symmetry. So that's not right. So I need to make sure I put the same color and the same shape on each side. Now my kite looks the same. So today, make a kite and decorate it how you like and see if you can make sure what's on one side is on the other. And you can try to find a piece of string or even a piece of yarn or something that you'd like to put on the bottom to decorate your kite. And send me a picture and show me how you did. I can't wait to see them. So I will see you later, my friends, okay? Bye. Love you. See you tomorrow.